Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's daily portrait sketch practice. I've been working with watercolor all month, and we're going to be working from this image that I'm very excited. I just received the name of the person that we're drawing from Krista. So Krista yesterday suggested yellow and pink as the color palette, and sent me some photos of great great grand uncle Raev, and I just received a name, Gustav Wied, and continuing the theme of kind of vintage photos. Oh, I just got a whole bio. Gustav Johannes Wied, from born 6th of March 1858, and lived until the 24th of October 1914. Was a Danish writer. And Chris is just writing to me as I'm reading this. He was a Danish writer. He was generally known as a satirical critic of society in his time, and he deliberately used his writing talents to expose the establishment, bourgeoisie, and ruling class. The government had him imprisoned for 14 days in 1882 for a short story published in a newspaper. Wied wrote novels, short stories, poems, and plays, including several satire plays. Satire as in satirical. Ayo, Raev 222. This is your great great grand uncle, and thank you so much for just sending the bio through. That's very interesting. You'll be able to tell us everything you know about him in the chat as we're working. Hello, Sally, Corinna, June. The man would be shocked to think you wanted to paint him pink. Would he? Would he? Perhaps cherry blossoms were his favourite blossoms. Who knows? But maybe... perhaps Krista could tell us all about it. He has a Wikipedia, and you just copy-pasted it. Thank you so much. Hello, Nana. Hello, Uta. Hello, Cindy. Hello, everyone. Tell me who you are. You are here. Sometimes people are here for the first time, and it's nice to meet new people. It's nice to reconnect with people who've been here often. So this has been a daily watercolor practice, and I'm about to start sketching. Thank you so much for sending the bio through and these cool pictures. Hi, Lewis. Cindy will use Neocolor and Watercolor, Brilliant Green and Purple Violet. Wow, I can't wait to see it. I'll put a timer on just to keep track of myself. Hello, Lisbeth. And I'm excited. Thank you for that bio. So fun. Let's work. Does anyone else... this is really cool. So yesterday... Krista suggested yellow and pink, and so then this afternoon I was like, who should we draw in yellow and pink? And then we got this whole great backstory of who we're working on. So this is cool. Let's do it. So 2 brushes would be good, 2 different colors, and see what happens. I'm cropping in even a bit closer to the portrait. We'll see how we go. Oh, and I want to show you, I spent some more time on the baby Pope this morning. I was kind of discontent yesterday at the end of the live stream. I was like, there are some things that still could be a bit different. And I put a little polish on this morning, and I'm happy with how it turned out. So I made the background a bit darker. I moved the hairline over a bit, and made this a bit rounder here, and I think it was worth giving it some extra attention. So, he liked to dress up for shits and giggles sometimes. Also, as a woman, I think he'd be down with dandelion cherry blossom vibes. Excellent. Ronnie, hello. Otherwise, I'll take argument with him in the afterlife. Worry not. So, he's going to love it. He'll love it. This yellow and pink that's about to happen. All right, what am I doing? Let's start sketching. So I'll start with the yellow, because the yellow's really light. I have a couple of different yellows. There's also that golden color this golden yellow. So we'll just have a look here. It's hard to tell here, but this is a golden, like quinacridone gold. This like cad yellow light and maybe lemon yellow. I'm thinking this is giving me the most dandelion feeling. So I'll go with that and just put. Oh, but there's like some green on here too. Just maybe put that over here. How's everyone doing with this watercolor month? I do wonder. I thought it would be interesting just to hear from you today. I had a look at my YouTube analytics, and it showed me some interesting things. I think that I've been getting a lot less views and less new people coming to the channel since I started doing the watercolor live streams. And I suspect it is because they are longer. So for the replays, like compared to a 10 or 20 minute video, I think maybe if people see like, oh, this is an hour or 50 minutes or something, maybe they're less inclined to watch. I have personally really enjoyed the watercolor practice. I set out to expand my horizons and get a bit more comfortable sketching directly to with watercolor, wet media, which turned out just to be watercolor. And so I've been really happy with it. I feel like I've been learning a lot. And I just wondered, for those of you who are here, I know without a drawing today, Lewis, without a drawing, just right into it. Hello, Tommy. And I wonder if I should get a hairdryer, actually, because this is so wet. We'll see what happens. If I get flustered and am doubting my choices, I may dash out of here and go get a hairdryer. But this might work out as it is. Formidable, the update of the Pope. Yeah, it felt so much better. Like, I was super tired last night, and then I was kind of like, it was nice hanging out and painting, and I'm glad I did it. I kind of woke up during the stream a bit, but as I was ending it, I was like, oh, I don't feel totally content about my Pope portrait. So I just spent a bit more time with it and made it a bit better. All right, it's gonna be hot pink right here, all of the darkness. So the pink is not a super dark color, but it's gonna be my darker color. So that'll be interesting. June loves the watercolor, including watercolor pencil, and love the longer time frame. It's more worth it to save the time. Oh, to saving your own time, to being like, I'm going to make the time, I'm going to be here, and then we're here, and then it's really like we committed. Yeah, I feel like the time frame of watercolor, it just needs more time, at least the way that I use it and the way I've been kind of developing and learning and practicing. It's just not as direct as ink and pencil. Maybe now I just need to lift some so this dries a bit faster. I can try lifting a bit of that water, very, very wet, and see what happens if I put some pink on here. Ronnie, you love my watercolor portraits. You tried sketching directly with watercolor after watching me. Haven't got my talent, but was surprised and managed to create a recognizable face. Excellent. Talent. What's talent? I think the talent is perseverance, because I've made watercolor paintings that made me feel uncomfortable. And I haven't been starting from scratch this month from watercolor. Watercolor and I have a history, and I feel like I have a strong foundation with all my drawing practice, my like the shadow shapes that we were doing last month. There's a lot of that in this, just recognizing shadow shapes. What am I doing? Oh no, that should have been the white of the collar. Ah, should it? If I put that there, that there. Oh well. I have a white pencil. If I can put some white on top. Ah, oh well. Um, yeah, so sketching directly to watercolor is it's I don't know if you come. I wonder if you were to come at it with a beginner's mindset, if you'd never done anything, then perhaps it would just be as challenging as anything. Um, but I was talking about this yesterday that um, like I'm coming at this from I feel like a pretty sturdy foundation of drawing practice. Like I feel like when I draw most of the time, I kind of I know what I'm working towards, whereas watercolor is a lot more challenging. And um, yeah, that just put me off here for a moment, where I realized, oh wait a minute, I'm painting my dark color into where I wanted the brightest bright to be. Um, oh well, things happen, and we just roll with it. So what else do we know about great great granduncle Raev? Is there? I guess his work would be in Danish, right? Is there? Can we read it in English if we want to deepen our relationship with our subject today, and wonder what his social critiques of the time were? I'm very curious. If anyone else has vintage photos, because it's fun to work from vintage photos of family members, um, and can provide backstory and stuff, that could be a fun thing to do. Choose the colors. Choose the palette. This is interesting. The pink on the yellow is orange. That makes sense, right? Tommy says the key to success is 20% talent, 80% perseverance, and 11% attention to the details. That's great. We have high high percentage, and we add all that together. Yeah, that's something I've wondered about, because yeah, people talk about talent, and there's something to it. Like there's a predisposition, I would say, and of course, I think it's like a biographical. Like sometimes we kind of have the cards shuffled in our favor. Like my parents were super supportive, and when my teacher tried to get me to stop drawing, or like, you don't listen to her, you do what you want. Um, so there was like support from there, and I'm very fortunate in that case. And I know that a lot of people have other stories where they're perhaps dissuaded from um, certain things by certain people. Um, this is interesting. Finding my way in these yellow shapes that I put down. Um, his it's actually been translated to English, but the Danish is very dialect heavy, so it's kind of struggle to imagine what the English versions are like. Ah, okay. And if it's dialect heavy, that would be like part of the, I guess the flavor of the writing would be in the language. So yeah, that would be interesting. How it comes across in translation. All right, I water this down a bit. I want some more of this pink over here. So I was just chatting with Kira, wondering about things and YouTube things. And my dear sister Claire had a live stream earlier this week, and she has a YouTube channel about having a YouTube channel, and she really like encouraged me to get onto YouTube, and yeah, and she had a live stream with a YouTube titles expert this week, and I was like, oh, it'd be interesting. I know that my titles game is not strong or innovative because it's like daily practice this person, daily practice that person, daily practice that person. And so my question was to this YouTube titles expert. I was like, what could I do with my titles to have it be? It's great. All of you are here, and you know that we're doing this, and we're great. We hang out and we do portraits together. But for the uninitiated YouTube browser, they may not instantly click on this, or may not really know what it's about or whatever. And just wondering how to do YouTube like in a way that I guess it'd be nice for this to grow, you know. I really enjoy it and would like to be able to I give a lot to it, and I would like to be able to really comfortably give even more and really focus on lots of things. There's this whole kind of story and the idea as to why I do this. I love the practice, and I love the part of it is like if and whenever we were to go to Australia, even if it was just for a visit, I would like to be able to just take whatever I'm doing with me. And somehow I'm the idea of being unbound to a specific place, having a family spanning across continents, is kind of interesting. And for a long time I've been kind of thinking towards that and working towards that, and it has become like a lot of what I've been doing more and more has been online, and I love it. And I also love real world stuff, and the idea how YouTube fits into the picture is like it's just cool to have a place to connect and practice together, and to share. And so I guess anyone who's putting a lot of effort into a YouTube channel would probably like it to grow a bit. So if with something as small a tweak as changing titles, like if that's something that could actually be like, different titles, and then different kind of reception, and more people coming along and having a look. It's just kind of an interesting idea that could perhaps be a thing. What was the beginning of my thought here? You haven't read all of his work, but some of the ones you've read have made you laugh a lot. That is excellent. I can't even really remember what I was saying. Oh yeah, that's right. So I was thinking about the YouTube thing and how as a complement to the live streams, that perhaps I could make videos like, and it'd be something like, here's what 30 days of watercolor sketching taught me, or thinking up some kind of cool title, and then I make a pre-recorded video, and I basically do a walkthrough of the pieces that I've done in the last month, and talk about watercolor, what I've learnt, invite people to join the daily practice, and I'm thinking after this, like I feel like it would make total sense to do a watercolor sketching workshop. That's a super fun format, like we did the shadow shapes workshop last month. And yes, I'm just wondering, because when I kind of snoop around, look around YouTube and see what other in the genre of art, like what kind of stuff people do, I don't know if there's heaps, like a lot that's kind of has streaming as central to it. I feel like this is really special and cool, and I don't know if many people are doing other, like a daily practice kind of thing. But what does, like when you search for stuff, what comes up is pre-recorded videos where there's an idea to it, and then it's kind of presented. Maybe it's scratching an itch, and it's like this thing. There's some clickbaity title to get you to click on it, and then it addresses what it's saying, and then you watch this 20-minute video, and you're like, oh wow, that was really informative, and I learned stuff, and there's value to that kind of thing where it's delivered in a concise way. And so I was thinking that could be interesting after this, at the end of this month, to make a video. I sketched for a month with watercolor, and this is what I learned. Something like that. Would you watch that? What do people like here? What do you like most watching on YouTube? Apart from this show, of course. But I wonder, of the people here, do many of you feel like, are you YouTube inhabitants? Are there channels that you subscribe to that you really like, and like I wonder, because there's some element of it. It has a bit of the social media aspect. There's like posts, and there's the short form content and stuff. But I feel like it's YouTube, to me, feels really different than Instagram. And over the years, most of my attention has been focused on Instagram, but I feel like it's good to diversify. I've been very critical of Meta and monopolies in general and big tech things, and this is just another big tech thing, this platform where we are. So, but this is where we are at the moment, and it's nice to be able to do this. Or maybe, regardless of whatever else you liked on YouTube, what would you like me to do? Anyone here? Hello, good evening. Maria Gattermeier. It is nice to have you here. It's always nice to see when you post stuff from the replays and stuff. I'm not sure, Maria, have you been here live for many of the live streams? Maria is nearly every Tuesday sketches with us in Zoom, so it's very nice to see you here as well. Yeah, I guess so. That's an interesting question. Of the stuff you like seeing artists do, is there anything specific to what I do, or anything that you're curious about which you think would be interesting if I did that? Because the daily practice is one thing, but I could also make some brief pre-recorded videos. I think doing I'm overdue for a sketchbook walkthrough of all of the daily drawing practice this year. I think that could be pretty cool. Astrid, thank you. Yes, you watched the replays. That's what I thought. I feel like this wonderful moustache could break the edge of the profile here a bit, even though it's not. It's totally, I don't see it doing that in the image, but we can just make things up. So how are the dandelion and cherry vibes? yesterday, so there's a cherry tree just outside this window where I sit, and it was like snowing cherry blossoms. It was beautiful. I wonder if in the background, maybe it doesn't have to be the same yellow, but I could put some of the gold into the background. Probably just a little photo error that there's no moustache coming out from the side. June says, I think until you actually try it yourself, you'd never believe if someone told you you could learn what you do. It's something you have to discover for yourself. Yeah, that's what I think. And there was we talked about it, I think, on Friday, that during the webinar, Linda had said that she never would have thought that she could do something that she thinks looks cool in such a short space of time. And that because Linda's coming to Let's Face It live sessions. By the way, there's one tomorrow night, Let's Face It live. If you're signed up to Let's Face It 2025, we're going to be doing a live session tomorrow where I'll do some wet media sketching. A 1 hour session, which is at the time when this usually is. So the timing tomorrow will be a bit different. Yeah, and that was really cool to hear that Linda was like, until my short format sketching practice, that she didn't realize that she could do stuff like that in such a short space of time, or to do something so brief and to be like, oh, that kind of looks like something. And that was something I also used to think, like, if I'm gonna art now, I need the whole afternoon. and I have learnt very clearly that just through the quantity, practice, doing lots of practice, that it's like a cumulative thing. It doesn't always need an afternoon or a day or a month of solitude to make something. That just putting in the short practice, it all adds up to having done a lot of practice. I'm going to lift this here. I just realized in the reference it's really nice how the dark of the hair is against the really light background, so just gonna change that a bit. Maybe wet this edge a bit and push it away and see what happens. It's also just like with where it doesn't really matter what's happening because there's nothing, like no important details, then sometimes it's interesting just to push paint around and see what results it leads to. Tommy, you use YouTube as your main source of inspiration. What channel would be the easiest channel to generate an income? That's a question to me. What would be the easiest channel to generate an income? I don't know. There are some really big art channels, but I know from some of the guests we've had on the Drawn Together show, just because like a lot of followers also doesn't necessarily generate income by itself. So there's some kind of concept, and I feel like I already have a concept. By the way, my concept, my mentorship, if you would like to learn intimately with me, start of May, the next round of my mentorship is starting up. And I have my Patreon where you can get monthly video tutorials with me and stuff. So I think a lot of what I understand, what my dear sister, who's right into YouTube, she earns money by selling stuff, which is not her own. Affiliate links and stuff she's interested in and she believes in, like YouTube training courses. But a lot of channels make money by selling other people's stuff, and I have my own stuff on offer. So if you're interested in any of that, you can definitely learn with me more intimately. Because the ad money that comes straight from Google, it's not really a lot, and it's also not the main thing. And as June has pointed out, ads can be pretty annoying. So that's like not the main thing. But that's the money that comes through YouTube is from the ads watched. So that's not the main thing that I'm trying to make my money with. I would like people to learn with me if they want to. And I've talked about this before. I like the idea of an ecosystem of offerings. That I really like things being accessible. That people who have the ability and the desire to send me some money, buy me a coffee, Patreon, mentorship, that those people can buy into what I'm offering. But I also think it's super important just to provide a space to hang out and to practice together. And it's something that I love a lot. So it's like from free to mentorship is like the range of ways that we can do things together, and the interrelation of those different things. And in between that, there's Patreon, there's the courses that I have on offer, and so that's the thing. And then occasionally, like I also, if we this is in the YouTube sense, so I'm also like I did the workshop last week. The mural workshop, and have other murals on the cards, and I'd love to do. I've focused a lot on online stuff recently, but it's also really cool to do real world stuff. So there's kind of there's always a lot of things going on, but I really I have a lot of hope. I really like what's happening with the YouTube stuff. It's so cool being here. Although there are other something that Kira has pointed out, my dear wife. It wasn't really planned that I would spend every night here hanging out with you. So I may be thinking up of some ways that I can maybe keep doing the daily practice, but not have it be every evening. So maybe sometimes it may be pre-recorded practice videos, still on a daily basis, or streaming at a different time, which I mentioned a while back. I was thinking that perhaps in my normal work time, like in the mornings here, that maybe I could do some streaming then. Tommy says, YouTube works well to bait an audience due to its high organic traffic. Yeah, that's it. I guess it's a balance of how much you give away as bait. Yeah, and I don't know. I don't hold back on anything. Like I'm just, whatever people ask me, I would just talk about it and share it. But it's a different format. If I make a tutorial video, I'm totally focused on like explaining my process. It's very different than just sitting here and figuring things out and chatting about random things. So it's quite different, but just in the sense of practicing, like everyone needs to practice. You learn by practicing. So that is something that we've all got to do if we want to learn. And so I've got to do it. I'm still learning, and it's cool to just provide the space to learn together. And I don't know. like it's not like I'm not consciously withholding information in the live streams and stuff. But it's a different experience when we actually get to sit together in Zoom, look through work together, and have a direct personal conversation. It's very different than like a live stream. Thinking of the mentorship, and it's so cool to work together like that. So that's really different. And yeah, and there is that like organic reach on YouTube. There are people hanging out here. YouTube is so big and so many people, and there's so much on offer, and there's so much interesting stuff, and I keep seeing interesting stuff every day. Like there's really a lot. So that's really cool. And there are other platforms where the reach is maybe harder to be seen. Not that it's like super easy and a given here, but there's the possibility, the dangling carrot. And you're all here. So nice to have you here. How did you all find my stuff? You know, from Instagram first? I know some of you I've known for years. But like it was cool that Tiago was here yesterday, and it was the first time I'd met Tiago, and he spoke up, asked a question. It was interesting. It was cool. And I just, in general, like in the real world as well, I enjoy meeting new people. And I think there's like the social aspect of this. It's very convenient, like with my family, my kids. I'm able to be here a lot for them, which is great. But it's like the social element is really interesting because there's an aspect of this, because I just get to hang out here and talk with you through the chat. Fun fact, Gustav, Uncle Raev, got married to Alice, who he described as a real man. If you Google search their names, Gustav Vade and Alice, there's a really cool photo of them together. Cool. Where she definitely looks like the man in the relationship. Bye-bye, June. You have to get to the Heritage House to sketch there. Awesome. Have fun. Oh, I just announced today on the Drawn Together Patreon that Ian Goldsmith is going to be our next guest on the 15th of May. That will be cool. He wrote a really cool book, Color Theory for Artists, which has been out for a while now. So really looking forward to catching up with Ian. A bit later in the month than Drawn Together usually is, because there are all sorts of public holidays and things going on over here. I did some wet stuff over this side, and it was kind of like, oh, what's going on? I would definitely be Googling Gustav and Alice after this. This needs to dry now. Not so much that I need to go get the hairdryer. So part of how it's yesterday with Baby Pope, at the end of it was all very wet, and I felt like it was kind of, there were things about it that were indistinct, and it was also some things that were kind of in the wrong place, and so I wrapped up the live stream thinking, I'm not super happy with it, and often like drawing in. So I've been starting sketching directly with watercolor. I've been starting my pieces with the watercolor, which is like a new and adventurous thing for me to be doing in the past month. Because usually I start with the drawing, make sure I have things drawn how I want them, and then I paint into it. So it's been interesting to flip that around, but I still find when I reach a stage where I'm like, nah, there's something not quite content with the result, then I can still draw onto my painting when it's done, and then I'm often then able to re-establish a sense of definition or some interesting mark making, which can make it feel more resolved for me. And that was definitely the case with yesterday's portrait. Like after I drew some more onto it, you can see here, and I was just able to add a bit more definition and change some stuff, and that felt like a good way to wrap it up. And here as well, I'm kind of at a stage where I feel like a lot of it's kind of figured out. This has all really gotten really wet now, and I can't do anything more into it at the moment. But reach a point where it's like, oh, if I just some definition, some pencil marks, some clear, defined mark making on top of the watercolor could be a good way to wrap it up and give me a sense of it being a somewhat finished piece. Thank you, Krista, for sharing Gustav with us. And Krista says, love the watercolor portrait. Got the cheeky glimpse in his eye. Yeah, I'm so happy to hear about his cheekiness. And Wicane, hello. I'm glad you like the color palette. Raev222 chose the color palette yesterday. At the end of yesterday's live stream, I was like, what color should I use tomorrow? And I could ask you now, everyone who's watching. And if you're watching the replay, you could also suggest a color combination, a 2-color color combination, or 3 if we're getting kind of unruly. But 2 colors, a light color and a dark color, or maybe a dark and a dark color, but that's going to make it harder. But yeah, people feel free to make color suggestions. It's fun just going off of your suggestions, because each time I've sat down, I'm like, oh, what colors am I going to use today? What am I going to do today? What am I doing today? And you can help make that easier, the decision easier, and then I can blame you if it doesn't work out. I won't do that though. I blame myself. But I like to think it's really good to practice sometimes in a way where it's like, oh, you can't see this, but I'm putting some little detail down here. I found it in the past beneficial to do practice in ways that I wouldn't necessarily have chosen to do myself. And I've participated in some drawing challenges where the reference has been selected by someone else, and I'm just like, I would never choose to work from this image. But then I've done it, and I'm like, oh, that was really interesting. And I get to learn things by following, like trying to figure out an image that I wouldn't even have stopped to look at. And then if someone's like, use that color and that color, like it's kind of an interesting challenge to just be like, okay, what can I do with that and that? And then just figure it out. And I really enjoy just this kind of experimental practice of what's possible within a certain set of limitations. And yeah, it's a fun palette. Your little soul is beaming with joy. I'm so glad to hear it. If you're not already, please join the Discord server. If you're not already there, it is a wonderful place. You may be the 333rd person to join if you join today. because there are 323 people. And November last year, I think there were 30 people. So the Discord server has grown by 300 people since November, which is amazing. Yes, Maria, the open rosa is so nice. It's an incredible color. I wouldn't have thought to use this color, but Greece selected it. Our dear friend Greece, and I've been amazed. Click on the like hand, everyone, says Corinna. Thank you, Corinna. 19 people watching, 6 likes. Could we maybe get that up to 19 likes? Here's the link to the Discord server. If I'm probably going to wrap this up soon because I want to do some more, but it's still quite wet. So what I want to do, I can't really do at the moment. So if you made it this far, please put a drawing hand emoji in the chat. And if you've made it to the end of the replay, you can also put your drawing hand emoji in there. And thank you so much for being here. What do I think about violet and green? I think that sounds pretty good. Violet and green. Yeah, that sounds good. Tomorrow we'll be working with violet and green. Thank you for the suggestion. The time is going to be different tomorrow because I have a class I'm leading from 9 to 10. So I'm wondering, is the live stream going to be earlier or later? You will all have to subscribe and hit the notification bell on my channel so that you get notified when I go live. That will help. Then you'll know. And of course, you can always watch the replay. If you're not able to make the live, the replays are like instantaneously available. Thanks for being here. Thank you for those emojis. Can't wait to see your portraits. So yeah, you can share in the Discord server, in the daily reference chat, and also on Instagram. You can tag me, and I would love to reshare to my stories. That's always fun. Can't wait to see your work. All right, this is going to need a little more. I don't need it, but I feel like drawing a bit more tomorrow. When it's nice and dry, I'll add some more drawing on the shadow side, and I'll share it again. So thank you so much for being here. It was nice. It was nice to have you here too. Wicane. Nice to have all of you here. Is that class? Let's face it. Indeed, Corinna. I hope you'll be there. Oh, thank you very much, Tommy. Would love to see me making it big. At first I read that of doing big paintings, but yeah, I feel like it could be. I feel like this is really good. I love it, and I know that some of you love it too, and I feel like it could be just for lots of people just a great place to hang out and practice and connect to each other, and yeah, it's really nice. So it would be nice to have more people come along. It's beautiful like this, and I think it would be beautiful for the community to flourish and blossom, and who knows what that will lead to. I love seeing when I haven't been able to keep up with everything in the Discord server, but other people having their own conversations and interactions, that it's because it's about this collective practice, which is super cool. And Krista, Silesh is here, so cool, and you love it, Silesh. Thank you. I love you, Silesh. Raev222, who provided the color palette and the reference of the great uncle today, says, "This is the first portrait where I haven't been hindered by perfectionism. For once, it is pretty sketch-like, and I've not been too stuck with proportions. Maybe it helps to know the face in advance." Maybe. That's interesting, because sometimes knowing the face, in my experience, can make it hard. But I'm so glad to hear that this is has worked for you, and it's been an honor. And it was really fun to hear the Wikipedia translation about Gustav. So everyone can go Gustav Wied. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but Gustav Wied and Alice. Look them up to learn a little more about who we've been sketching today. And thank you all so much. And I'll see you next time. Sleep soundly. Dream things. And yeah, I look forward to our next encounter here on the YouTube, or maybe on Instagram, who knows.